Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 125 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim D-Train Van Stratton. I'm joined by Rodney Newpol. He has returned the great Cousin Con jersey to his background, and we're ready to roll on this Tuesday night. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. The Charlotte Hornets yesterday played a mid-afternoon game. I don't know as if anybody knew it was actually going on, and put up 130 points on the Philadelphia 76ers at one point, led by 50 points. So the Charlotte Hornets are back. My Cousin Con, a quiet 12 points in the game, but I'm keeping very close tabs on the Charlotte Hornets. 3 games out of a play-in game.
By the way, that is officially rising star Con Canupel.
Second overall pick behind his buddy Cooper Flagg. He was the second guy picked in it, so it would be interesting to see what happens.
Did they do a draft?
Yeah, 3 guys. Carmelo, T-Mac, and somebody else. I forgot the third.
Oh, I must have missed that. That's cool. I like that. So three teams, so shortened rosters, and then they're just going to battle it out on that Friday.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure about the rules.
Where is the NBA All-Star Weekend this year?
Ooh, that's a great question. That is a great question.
I got no idea. I should know. There was a time in my life where I would definitely know that answer of just like where the NBA All-Star Weekend was, because I feel like some years it's like they have it, but then it gets changed last minute to somewhere else because of something or another, and it's like I don't. Where's it at?
I'm having a hard time here. Why does Google keeps wanting me to sign in here? So I will come up with that as we get going.
We are on fire. We are looking good here. What is it like? End of? It's normally like
usually mid-February. Mid-February.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Sunday, February 15th.
Yeah, in LA.
Oh yeah, Intuit Dome in LA. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's a nice arena for it. That sounds good. All right. Enough NBA talk. Obviously, people who are tuning in right now, if you want to get your comments throughout the show, you could hit us up on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you, first of all, and you could comment there. Well, Rodney, it's Seahawks-Patriots.
It is.
First of all, without breaking down the games and like from this last Sunday and like previewing the matchup, like above all else, does this matchup excite you? Are you like, you know what, Seahawks-Patriots, I'm looking forward to this game?
No. And I don't know why necessarily, and never been excited about either of the teams. I've said all along I've been very wrong on both these teams all year long. And here we are. No, it does not. I would have rather seen the Rams, probably not the Broncos for the quarterback situation, but I would have much rather seen the Rams. They would have been more exciting for me, but freaking Seattle's really dang good. So whether they surprise me or not, they're pretty good.
Yeah, number 1 team statistically in the NFL, just based on the nerd stats, facing a Patriots team that won 14 games, and yet this will never happen again, Rodney, where there's a team that wins 14 games, makes it to the Super Bowl, and a good portion of NFL fans and media members are trying to figure out if they're actually good, right, or if they're just incredibly lucky. Because the AFC Championship rolls around, they are able to win a game 10-7. They got 1 touchdown that was, that helped in large part to a turnover that was deep in Denver's own zone. That's the only score they needed, the only touchdown they needed, and Denver obviously had some kicking flubs as well, and just crazy matchup. And I gotta say, so it's 4.5 points right now that Seattle is favored by. So 4.5. I guess it's on the kind of the bigger end for Super Bowls, but honestly, like I feel like the number should be a little larger. Like I would have thought 5.5 if I was like in line for this matchup going in. I would have said 5.5. So 4.5 surprised me a little bit. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, I think anything from 3.5 to 5.5 probably is fair. But I don't know how I want to bet this game because, like, Mike Vrabel is using the underdog line exclusively for 2 weeks, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, the guy obviously is getting the best out of his group. They've won 14 games. They were basically the best in the AFC pretty much all year. Yeah, I know they were the 2 seed, but basically the best in the AFC all year. And here they are. Everybody and their brother is picking the Seahawks to win this game. So I don't know how I want to bet this game, but I think you're right along there. I would have seen 5.5. I wouldn't have been surprised at 3.5 or 4.5 wherever it's at. So I think it's right between that 3.5 and 5.5 is a good start for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, my first instinct is to go heavy on the Seahawks because like the Seahawks are very, very good. And the game, we've seen them a couple times, the way that they absolutely put the beat down on San Francisco and then challenged by the Rams. But that was, every time that the Rams had a chance and an opportunity to get back in the game, the Seahawks were able to keep it sort of away from the Rams. And it got close, but like that was a really good football game between two really good football teams. And Seattle is now a win away from getting their revenge on the Patriots, from getting a Super Bowl for Sam Darnold. By the way, if it wasn't obvious already, this has to be the absolute worst possible Super Bowl matchup ever for New York Jets fans, to watch Sam Darnold on one team and the New England Patriots on the other. It doesn't get easy for them. I got a couple interesting stats though here, and this is maybe would give myself a little bit of pause or you some pause. Well, first of all, what's your lean right now? If you had to say, we're almost 2 full weeks from the Super Bowl still. If you had to bet one side or the other at that 4.5, where are you going?
Well, I think Seattle wins the game, but I probably would take the points in a Super Bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably take New England to cover that. Like everything New England's done has been competitive this year. I do think Seattle wins the game, but probably right now would take New England plus 4.5.
So you're probably not going to be alone there.
No.
Underdogs have covered the spread in each of the last 5 Super Bowls and have won outright in the last 3 straight years. So Eagles were a 1.5 underdog last year, obviously destroyed Kansas City. Chiefs were a small favorite the year before against San Francisco, won that one in overtime. Chiefs were a small underdog against Philly the year before, but again, that's 1 point, that's 2 point, that's 1.5, like pretty close. The closest comparison would be Cincinnati was a 4.5 point underdog against the Rams. That ended up being, and that was a game in LA, so it was the Rams playing in their own stadium against the Bengals, and that was a 23-20 game. So recent history says underdogs. Furthermore, since 2004, there have been 10 Super Bowl underdogs of 4.5 points or more. 9 of them have covered. They're 9-1 against the spread. So that's a 20-year sample size, 10 underdogs, and all but 1 have covered, and the average covered margin is 8 points. So all of that to say, okay, maybe New England's the play. But then I just keep thinking the underdogs that we're talking about here are like the Chiefs. Yeah. And like the Patriots and Seahawks for that matter, like this is, I think, the most improbable Super Bowl matchup ever based on preseason odds for both teams. Is that right? Like Seattle opened the year at something like 50-1 and Patriots were 60-1.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it is. It's the most improbable ever.
Right. So it's it's improbable in that regard. And just like, this isn't a scenario where it's, oh, the team is an underdog, but they're still really, really good. Like, we're still talking about if the Patriots are for real or not.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like that's the holdup here. That's where you have to just sort of go with your gut and look at this season as opposed to just comparing through history. But just an interesting observation there.
I mean, they're going to win. I mean, let's say they win the Super Bowl, and we're going to say it was like the most fluky Super Bowl winner ever with like, and would they end up winning 17 games by the time they went 14-3 and 3-0 in the postseason? That would, I mean, but that's what's going to happen. They're going to be like, most fluky Super Bowl winner ever. Maybe we got to realize they're really good.
Do you think they're really good? If you had to, no, I'll ask you right now, straight up, do you think the Patriots are obviously you have to have some level of ability to get to the Super Bowl. Like, they won 14 games there in the Super Bowl. But when you watch the Patriots, and you've watched plenty of them all year, the regular season, your 3 playoff games, are you like, this is a really darn good football team?
No. And you probably saw this today. I wanted to give this one out real quick. So somebody tweeted out Patriots schedule. Have you seen this one?
Yes.
They did.
And this is what I was going to tie it here. I'm glad that you're on it here, and I'd like for you to share this since you have it up, because it is truly incredible.
Week 1, 2, and 3, their opponents fired their coach. Week 4 was an NFC South opponent. Week 5, they fired their coach. Week 6 was an NFC South opponent. Week 7, 8, and 9, they fired their coach. Week 10 was an NFC South opponent. Week 11 was the Jets. Week 12 was the Bengals. Week 13, 15, and 16, they fired their coach. Week 17 was the Jets. Week 18, they fired their coach. So then the playoffs would have been.
So playoffs is Chargers
Herbert without Joe.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. Yeah, without Hall and Rashawn Slater, of course. And the Chargers ended up firing their offensive coordinator.
Yes. And then the second round was
Houston,
who CJ Stroud decided he didn't know what jersey he was wearing the last couple weeks of the season. Yeah. And then Bo Nix.
And then no Bo Nix. Yeah, so you get a backup quarterback in the snow. And also the Broncos fired their offensive coordinator today as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah, I was looking at the schedule, sort of following along here. So like those fired coaches, so two of them are Buffalo, right? So like you have 2 of them that are Buffalo, 2 of them are Miami. So those division opponents, but like did they play every team that moved on from their coach? So how many openings were there this year? 10?
10, yeah.
Okay, 10. So all right, so I'm gonna go through here. So Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta. So that's 7.
Yeah.
Giants, Ravens. So they played 9 of the 10 teams. The only one they didn't play was the Cardinals. So 9 of the 10 teams that fired their head coach were on the Patriots schedule.
Yeah.
With 2 of those being divisional opponents, so they played twice. So that's 11 games against teams that were, for one reason or another, moved on from their head coach this year. And that doesn't include the Jets twice as well.
Yeah, and then the NFC South, where the divisional winner won 8 games.
Yes, had a losing record. So, like, that has to be legitimately has to be the most favorable, lucky, fluky schedule in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
no, I was just gonna say real quick, like, the Patriots can't control the schedule. They play the games that they were given. People knew that the schedule was on the easier side. I don't think they expected it this much, but it's like every possible break went their way. Every single one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I will look at I'll look at it from this side, like the lost opportunity that the Buffalo Bills actually had from this, because
Yeah.
They played a very similar schedule, right? I mean, they had a few tougher teams. They saw the Eagles in there and the Texans. So they played the first place teams, but they still played the NFC South. They still played those other AFC East teams, and they couldn't get by the team in their division that they've struggled with for decades. So you put it on there. It is one of the most unbelievable luck situations we've ever seen in all sports.
Right. It's going to throw off so much of the analysis with this game where we look, okay, let's see the Patriots. Oh, well, they ranked top 5 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, yeah, no shit. Yeah. Like, look at who they played. like that. Oh, what was it in the playoffs? Their defense has allowed X amount of points. Like, the only team that's allowed fewer points through the first 3 playoff games is the 0-1 Baltimore Ravens that had Ray Lewis. All this. Okay, yeah. Well, that defense was Hall of Famers. This one played C.J. Stroud and Jarrett Stidham and Justin Herbert. Like, and 2 of those guys had their worst possible days. Like,
right.
It's just it's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. But here we are. They're 1 win away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to talk more about sort of the props, some of the betting possibilities later on as we get closer to the game. Because I mean, this is like the not the week of the Super Bowl, but the week before it, where there's nothing, and a lot of people want to get their mega analysis in this early, and then by the time they get to the game, it's like, oh my god, like enough, just get it over with.
Yeah.
So we have to pace ourselves a little bit, but I just wanted to, I wanted to bring up the Pats thing because like it's so ridiculous.
We have 3 more shows before the Super Bowl.
Let's talk other NFL here.
Right.
So since we were last on last Thursday, the Steelers did they probably hired the coach that I definitely thought they weren't going to hire based on what they normally do. Like we had talked about the Steelers sort of MO of, they get younger guys, a little bit lesser known, but a coach that they sort of bank on the upside. And like, this is going to be a long-term answer for us. Like a franchise that's like, you're our coach and you're going to be our coach for a long time. That's the plan. Instead, they hired Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Who
is anything but a long-term option there. And like part of me felt bad with the reaction to McCarthy because I think McCarthy's probably a better coach than people give him credit for. If you just look at the resume, I mean, he's won a Super Bowl, all this, but it's one of those things where it's like, he's a not a bad coach, but it's a bad hire because it's just not at all what the Steelers need. Right. And it feel like they just signed themselves up for a similar type of season than what they've already been doing the last few years with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, no, the reaction is not real positive in Pittsburgh, and then on the other side, like his reaction was very emotional to taking this job. So, but yeah, it was an odd hiring, and then like now the question is like, what is he going to do at quarterback? Are they going to reunite with Aaron Rodgers? It's a weird situation, and it's so Steelers that they want to stay relevant, and this is going to keep them sort of relevant at 9-8, maybe.
Is it? And I don't know if this has been sort of talked about by people that have been covering the coaching search there, but was it just like there wasn't the right candidate there? So they obviously interviewed plenty of options. But maybe they weren't blown away with any of the candidates. So they're just like, hey, you know what? Like, at least let's get a stable option in there that kind of keeps us afloat. And we'll revisit this in a couple years when we know that there's like a young option that we really want to go after here. Cause it's so out of character for what the Steelers have always done with their head coaching hires.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like it. It definitely seems like it. Is there any hope that the Steelers will, I mean, they're going to have to get a lot of players, but is there any hope the Steelers are going to be contenders in the AFC?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like their quarterback is in his 40s and not the Brady in his 40s. This is the normal quarterback in his 40s.
Right.
like they snuck into the playoffs, but then immediately were proven to be frauds, which we knew. Yeah, like I don't know unless they. I would assume that they have to draft a quarterback in this draft.
You would think.
I would assume. And then if they do that, like they have to hit just to give them some type of life here. But man, I don't know. Even though the division is, Baltimore obviously had a big restructuring, and Cleveland's just never going to be blah, and Cincinnati's just so inconsistent all the time. Like Pittsburgh can probably still end up winning the division there, but I just don't know how they're going to contend with we have to say the Patriots now, but also the Broncos and the Chargers and like the Bills. Like they're not going to be better than any of those teams. And I don't think the Texans, like they're not going to be better than any of those teams.
Yeah, you're right. And it'd be interesting to see what their roster looks like, how they make changes on their roster, because I mean, we said all along it was an average roster to begin with, and now they're going to get what we call an average coach. And but I wanted to bring this up. Like, how amazing is it that Mike McCarthy has now been the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Pittsburgh Steelers? like 50 years from now, our grandkids are going to be like, huh, those are three pretty good organizations.
Yeah. Yeah.
He must have been really good.
Well, I don't know. Our grandkids from now might not view the Cowboys as a pretty good organization because there's a chance that they still haven't been anywhere since the 1990s.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
But no, I 100% see what you mean. Like there is a conversation that those three are the crown jewel franchises in the National Football League.
Yeah,
historically.
No, for sure.
Historically, like the only other one would be the 49ers that I think you could throw in there, but like Packers, Cowboys, Steelers, all excellent. And you're right. Like I didn't even think about that. Those three organizations probably takes all three to the playoffs. He won a Super Bowl. He's going to have, I mean, I was a head coach for many years, so he's going to rank pretty high amongst wins all time. It's going to be a very strange resume because you're right. People are going to look at just the overall resume and be like, wow, that's really impressive. But then people who were like, actually, he kind of was disliked and people made fun of him and he was very, very average. It's a quite bizarre way to frame him, but yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's such a good point. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills made a hire today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. I'm even more confused by the Bills hire than the Steelers McCarthy hire.
Yes, and I'm sure you're going to say the same reason, but when you have the owner up there saying that the coaches were the reason they drafted Keon Coleman, and your head coach is actually a defensive-minded guy, so who probably was one of the ones that wanted Keon Coleman? Well, it was probably Joe Brady. It was probably Joe Brady. And then not only that, but like part of the reason they fired McDermott was because he walked into the locker room and he could just tell the players were so distraught over continual losses. So don't you think so he wanted to get new blood in there. Well, this is not new blood. This is not new blood. Joe Brady's not new blood. So I'm super confused what's going on in Buffalo.
Yeah, so they give him a 5-year deal. It already says a lot that like the quality of candidates that were being interviewed for that job, like it didn't seem like there was a ton of candidates that were like lined up and really wanted that job, despite having Josh Allen there. But it seemed like there was probably not a lot of interest in it. But yeah, like I think that's a great point you mentioned about Joe Brady and the coaches that drafted the offensive bust. Okay, well let's go ahead and promote him. So they keep the GM, promote him. They keep the offensive coordinator, promote him. So McDermott's the only one that has to answer. And yeah, that's a bizarre situation there. And like, so I remember a few years ago, Joe Brady was getting a ton of interest. So he's a young guy still. He's 36, but he really sort of broke out onto the scene because he was the genius passing game coordinator for that LSU team with Joe Burrow. So that was his sort of like, oh my God, this guy's an offensive guru. He's such a genius. He goes to the Carolina Panthers. He's an offensive coordinator there under Matt Rule for 2 years. He's very average. And then he gets fired after 2 years, not even less than 2 years. Late into the second year, he gets fired by Carolina. So his first stint in the NFL, offensive coordinator, not good. Then he goes to the Bills. He's a quarterbacks coach for 2 years. Obviously, Josh Allen kind of took over the role a little bit from Brian Dable, but then he doesn't even become the full-time offensive coordinator until 2024. Right. So he's had 4 years of coordinator experience. It's been a quarterbacks coach, but he's been with the Bills. This is going to be his 5th season in Buffalo now. So he was very much a part of the teams that weren't quite able to get over the hump. That's the whole point of firing Sean McDermott is your coaching staff can't get your talented quarterback and the rest of the roster to the next level. And I just don't know if Joe Brady is the answer for that. I'm not saying that he's not a smart guy, that he's not good at offense. Clearly is, but I don't think like offense was the problem with Buffalo. I think that like getting an actual head coach who knows how to manage games and who knows how to close in these big moments, that's the priority. And like last week when we were talking about how teams like Denver over a decade ago, they fired John Fox because they couldn't get over the hump. They bring in Gary Kubiak, and he was able to get him there. And Gary Kubiak, just like a veteran guy who knows how to do it, who knows how to just take the reins, and like all these different examples. Like to me, this feels more like this is closer like when the Eagles fired Andy Reid because they couldn't get over the hump, and rather than getting an experienced coach, we're like, you know what, let's go with Chip Kelly because he's one of those offensive whatevers, even though like was not qualified to be an NFL head coach and was under-equipped for it. Like that's what this kind of feels like a little bit, but even stranger because it's just promoting within. So yeah, I talk too much. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel like they settled. And if you look through, this, like that's something New England didn't do. Like New England originally kind of had the 1 year stopgap settled on Gerard Mayo, but they realized, okay, we got to get out of this. And went with the proven Mike Vrabel that obviously has shown to be very successful. I think Denver kind of was in that situation too. They decided they're not going to settle, and they went with a proven guy. And, Sean Payton hasn't got Denver to the Super Bowl yet, but boy, they're pretty close now, right? I mean, this is a good organization. Now, the Joe Brady, like some might argue, well, maybe he's the next Ben Johnson. Okay, well, maybe, but I mean, the jury's kind of still out on Ben Johnson too until he can get there. I mean, obviously year one was successful, and the trajectory looks good for Ben Johnson, but like, we'll see. But I feel like they really Buffalo settled on Joe Brady. I think that's how it ended.
Yeah, and it's a Josh Allen hire probably more than anything too, and that's the other aspect. Like Allen, I heard was like a part of all of the interviews, and which I understand to a degree. He's by far and away your most valuable player. He's essential to the success of your franchise. But like, so Josh Allen had all the turnovers in the game against Denver, right?
Yeah.
Would that have been any different if it was Joe Brady as the head coach? Because Joe Brady's still the one calling the plays.
Yeah, some could argue that Josh Allen is the reason Sean McDermott got fired.
Yeah, but like, right. Yeah, you could definitely say that. But like, what I'm saying is, Joe Brady is in his booth. He's calling the plays, and now he's going to come down. Presumably, he's still going to call plays again, but he also now has to manage on top of that, like all of the other sort of head coach aspects that come with it, which, as we know, not everyone could do. In fact, like more people can't do that than the ones who can. And like typically, like head coaches, a lot of head coaches, unless you're a McVay type, like you're not calling the plays,
right?
So So it's like, okay, so then you feel like Joe Brady's the ultimate leader of men and can get your team to the Super Bowl, and you're going to be okay with him not calling plays, like if that's sort of what they decide. It's strange. The whole thing is strange. Like I thought Brian Dable at least could have made sense because he was a former coordinator there. But Brian Dable's been a head coach for the last 4 years.
Yeah, but let's talk about him real quick.
Yeah.
Tennessee's dangerous.
Robert Saleh with Brian Dable in a very, you can't really say a weak division when two of the teams won 12 plus games and the Colts were competitive for 75% of the year. But like, it's a division that seems to kind of change shape drastically year over year.
Yes.
It's not the roster needs a lot of work, but they got a ton of cap space. They can make something happen. Yeah. I'm still very high on Brian Dable as a coordinator. And if he can focus on like Cam Ward's development, I think that they could absolutely make some noise there for sure.
Yeah, no, I think every year we see teams that were miserable for 1 year and really made the jump the next year. So I'm saying right now, Tennessee could be that team in the AFC, and your New York Giants could be that team in the NFC. I think those are the two teams you could see kind of what's the quote, starting from the bottom and here we are type situation, like the Patriots this year went from really poor to playoff team. Now, I'm not saying either one are going to be Super Bowl winners or even Super Bowl contenders, but I do think both those teams could find a way in the playoffs.
Speaking of coaches and these coordinator searches, I hate to bring this up again. I know it's a sore subject for you, but is there any part of you that is at least a bit curious that the Philadelphia Eagles cannot find anyone to be an offensive coordinator for them?
Nobody wants to do it.
Nope, nobody wants that job.
No, it's hilarious. It's hilarious because like my whole Nick Sirianni thing is a bit, right? Like it's not. I mean, it's not really real. I think he is kind of a doofus. Do I shove it in your face when he wins? Yeah, because you're a New York Giants fan. But like who would want to go work for that guy though? Like he's always puffing his chest. Like he's probably not real fun to work with. Right.
Well, okay. I was going to ask you, like, because you're framing it as this is someone who doesn't want to work for Nick Sirianni, but like in my mind, and I'm about as anti Sirianni as it gets, but like in my mind, I think that this is a statement about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Because like the Eagles offensive coordinator, it's a yearly rotation, it seems like. And sort of the prevailing thought on Jalen Hurts is that he is what he is. And you can't really expand the playbook. You can't really have him change his game. You can't add new layers to his abilities. Like, this is just what he does. And if stuff isn't working, too bad. Like, you don't really have another option. And they were able to get away with it 2 years ago because Saquon Barkley ran for 2,000 yards and it was great. When Saquon Barkley isn't running for 2,000 yards and you do need more from Jalen Hurts, you get what we saw this year.
Yeah.
And like, I think that probably coaches that are looking, at potential offensive coordinator roles are more interested in, hey, like Cam Ward's a first-year guy. There's a lot of untapped potential there. Justin Herbert, even though he's been around for a few years, like Justin Herbert, there's still like untapped potential there. The Raiders, like that job, you're going to have Fernando Mendoza to work with.
Yeah.
So like all these things. And it's just like the Eagles have a quarterback who kind of is what he is. It's a very tense markets where if stuff isn't working, like you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. And you're probably going to end up only being there for a year unless things go great for you, which seems like people don't feel like that's going to happen now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. They've had that opening for a long time, and I'm hardly hearing anything anymore. Maybe they can't even get interviews anymore. They're going to end up settling for a young, unproven guy, and maybe that's what they need. Maybe maybe somebody with some different ideas, some different thoughts for Hurts, because Hurts needs some
interviewed.
kind of help.
From what I've seen here, they've interviewed 15 different candidates. 9 of them have either accepted other positions or withdrawn for other reasons or whatever. So the 6 that they've interviewed that are still available are Jim Bob Cooter, Matt Nagy, Gerard Johnson, Josh Grizzard, Sean Mannion, and Frank Smith.
I mean, Nagy obviously had some success, but that's with Patrick Mahomes. I always love the name Jim Bob. Jim Bob
Cooter, yeah. But like we were talking about, oh God, could you imagine Brian Dable going there? Oh, Mike McDaniel going there? They're like, no, not going to do it. They were trying to get the Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle, and he decided, no, I want to stay in Chicago with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Yeah,
I had no idea that was the Bears offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle.
Yeah, the name. I have not once thought about Declan Doyle like during the year, but I remember it like last year them hiring Declan Doyle. He was a former Denver assistant. I think he was like the Broncos like tight ends coach or something like that who came over and became the offensive coordinator for Chicago. And I didn't realize until later in the year that Eric Bieniemy was on the Bears staff. Like that I didn't know until a few weeks before their season ended. That Bieniemy's in charge of the run game, which Bears run game this year pretty good. Like,
pretty good.
Seemed like that was good. Now Bieniemy's back in Kansas City and Matt Nagy's still out there. I think Eagles should just hire Matt Nagy. Like at this point, that's probably the most qualified name, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right. One more NFL note here. So, do you see this? Apparently, and I'm confused here because they don't announce the Hall of Fame class until the NFL awards show or whatever, sometime in February. I think it's the week of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I guess reporters have done some digging around and talked to people, and Bill Belichick is not going to get the necessary amount of votes to be a Hall of Famer in his first year on the ballot. Before I get to the reaction, which I know it's going to be, because it's going to be mine too, the reporting seems to indicate that the ones who keep him off, this is sort of like a punishment, but it's a temporary punishment due to some of the previous Spygate, Deflategate type of scandals. So this is sort of their 1-year punishment for those nefarious activities, and would then bring him in next year. I'll let you go first here because your face really says it all.
It's so petty. It's so petty. Like if he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, let him in the Hall of Fame when he's eligible to become a Hall of Famer. Like that's it's a punishment. Like are you actually punishing him? I don't know. I just think it's so. I mean, Bill Belichick deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as soon as he's eligible. And really, that's about it from me. Like it's just pretty petty. That punishment. Okay.
It is mind-numbingly stupid.
Yes.
And I'm sure we can go through and look at other coaches that got in on the first ballot, and we can find something. Like this is someone who very, very recently, and still might be, in the conversation as the greatest NFL head coach of all time.
All time, yeah.
And we are not going to unanimously elect him to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. And it's funny, like everyone talks about the Baseball Hall of Fame being all stupid with the gatekeeping and everything, but like apparently football has its own gatekeeping, which we're all learning for the first time here. And I have to say, it is equally annoying because the baseball one gets me upset every year. But like, if this is how it works for football, like it's so gross. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Do you know, by the way, the the candidates for this year? Like, if I were to ask you, like, some of the finalists, would you even know?
No, I would not.
Yeah, they got to do a better job of like marketing their Hall of Famers. I don't know what it is, but you would think that the biggest sport in the country with the Hall of Fame, with all the superstars, like would be a bigger talking point nationally. It's just not, and I don't know why.
It's not. No,
Maybe it's
not.
because no one actually knows how the voting process works, and because it's the rounds. It starts at here, and then it's to this, and then now we're the finalists, and then and I learned today that like anywhere between 4 to 8 members will get in out of the 15. That's like what?
Right.
So,
yeah,
weird.
yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess a year from now, he's going to be in, or he's going to be.
I would assume based on what I read, like this is being treated as a 1-year punishment for his evil doings, which like so dumb.
Whatever.
All right, Rodney, fill me in a little bit. What's going on in college hoops? I saw there were some good games today. There's some really good games over the weekend. I know you're all over it. Like, what are sort of the things that you are really looking out for right now? As we're pretty much like entering the final month of regular season before we get to conference tournaments. Like, we're starting to get to the home stretch here a little bit.
Yeah, 6.5 weeks till Selection Sunday. I want to remind you that the Big Ten has not won a national title in college basketball since 2000. So when you are putting your bets together or your brackets together, consider that. I would say the contenders are mostly household traditional names. I would say your contenders would be the Arizona Wildcats. They're a household traditional name. The UConn Huskies, the Duke Blue Devils, check.
Yeah.
Michigan Wolverines, I mean, ish. I mean, the Fab Five obviously made their run in there. I mean, Gonzaga's another contender. Michigan State's another contender. Houston's back in the contention. Illinois is really good. They just beat Purdue. Freshman had 46 points. So those are a few of your top contenders. Probably.
Did you mention 20-0 Nebraska in there?
Well, they lost tonight to Michigan, but yes, they are now 20-1. They lost
20-1 Nebraska.
It was their very first loss, and so not a national contender. So that's a name. Brigham Young would be another name that is not necessarily a national household contender. But, and then your next tier is back to like Florida, North Carolina. My Kansas Jayhawks have shown some signs of life here. Purdue, Texas Tech. So, like, it's the same names that are in there. But, I mean, Arizona's 20-0. They picked up a big win last night. Michigan beat Nebraska. So it looks like Arizona's the only undefeated. Well, no, Miami of Ohio still have not lost as well out of the MAC. They are 20-0. Their next game is
they're playing right now.
They're tied
right now. They're tied with UMass.
Yeah, and UMass is 13-8. But another team that I wanted to mention because it's a shameless plug here is the St. Louis Billikens. St. Louis Billikens came away with a 79-76 win tonight. They are now 19-1. They've won 13 in a row, and their only loss was you can kind of call it a fluke. Stanford missed the free throw late, tapped it out. Kid ran to the corner, flipped it up from 3, and it went in at the buzzer to beat them. That's their only loss of the season. St. Louis Billikens, really, really good. They'll be the Atlantic 10 team. But I mean, if you're looking to bet a team, it's Arizona, it's UConn, it's Duke, and then if you want to try your luck with the Big Ten team, I would say Michigan, Nebraska, Illinois, maybe even Purdue, Michigan State. There you go.
Do you know Ryan Hammer on Twitter, the guy who does his trapezoid of excellence?
Yeah.
So I looked up his trapezoid of excellence, which was updated today. a record 13 or so teams in the trapezoid. So that's a testament to all the parity happening in college basketball right now. Like there are a lot of potential championship teams. It looks like, just based on the trapezoid here, which combines pace with net rating, looks like Duke and Iowa State are the two that are like right in the heart of that trapezoid. I mean, Duke makes sense, like you said. You mentioned them early. But yeah, you also have like Arizona's in there. I see BYU. I see Illinois. I see Michigan State. I see Louisville that's in there. Did you mention Louisville at all?
Yeah, I mean Louisville's good. They've been beat twice by Duke this month, so I don't know as if they're national title contending good, but they are good. That's a team that was supposed to be pretty good last year and lost in the first round. Your
Jayhawks are like a couple decent performances away from joining that trapezoid. They're close. They're like right on, sort of near the edge. Like the head of the Jayhawk is like bordering the trapezoid here, and St. Louis is also really close too.
So it's interesting with Kansas because they've won 4 in a row, but they're still missing most of the time their top freshman, Darren Peterson. He continues to have injuries. He's only played 10 games all season, 10 of their 20. He came back and was really good the games he played. Now they are starting to figure some things out without him. You know, obviously, if you're a Kansas fan, you're hoping, oh, okay, great. Now they've got some guys that are figuring out, and then when he comes back, they'll all figure it out. They're an interesting team. So, you know, you asked, so I'm going to tell you here. If Arizona, who is the only undefeated team left, I guess we can consider Miami, Ohio. But if Arizona beats Arizona State, who's not very good, and beats Oklahoma State, they will go to Fog Allen on February 9th, a week from Monday, and be the AP number 1 and undefeated. Kansas has never beat a number 1 AP poll team at Fog Allen before. Never played one. Never played a number 1 team at home before. They've been number 1 a bunch. They beat a bunch of ranked teams. So keep an eye on that one. Arizona, Kansas possibly coming up February 9th. Should be a good one.
I mean, Arizona's going to have, like, that stretch is –
oh, it's brutal.
At Kansas. It's at Kansas.
Yeah.
Then immediately hosting Texas Tech, then hosting BYU, then at Houston.
Yeah.
And then you get Baylor, and then you got Kansas again at the end of the month.
And then Iowa State to start March. Yeah, no, it's a brutal.
Yeah.
Outside of last night's win over BYU, Arizona had a very soft start of their conference schedule. Kind of like the Big Ten. The bottom of the Big 12 is bad. The bottom of the Big Ten is just absolutely just terrible. But Utah, Kansas State, TCU, Arizona State, none of those teams are very good. UCF, Cincinnati, and Arizona kind of feasted on those teams. It's getting real for them. And then on the other side, like you got to be impressed with Duke, because Duke lost literally everybody from last year. Literally everybody. They were all drafted, and here we are, probably top 3 national contender. They're good. They're good. Mm-hmm. Now the ACC's not as good as the Big Ten or Big 12 or even the SEC, but boy, they just keep finding ways to win.
Yeah, that Boozer kid's averaging 23.5 points a game, 10 rebounds.
Yeah. We have some absolutely phenomenal freshmen in college basketball this year. The freshmen are the best players in the country right now. And this draft will be because when they go, they're all going to go at the same time, will be very, very good. There's going to be some very good players heading in, with Peterson, with Pete at Arizona, with Debansa at BYU, Keaton Wagler from Illinois is going to be a lottery pick now. He scored 46 at Purdue. 46. Yeah. He scored 46 points.
It's definitely not a like, oh man, we missed out on Cooper Flagg, so that's it. That sucks for us.
No.
Like if you get a top 4 pick, any in the top 4, like you're gonna get a really darn good player.
Yeah, you're gonna get a dude. Yeah, you're definitely gonna get a dude, and Oklahoma City might end up getting 3 of them.
Darren Peterson on DraftKings is the current favorite to go number 1. He's at minus 165. AJ DeBonsa is plus 150. So those, and like, we're still early in the year and stuff, but like right now, those are sort of the top two. And then Cameron Boozer at plus 900. And then you got like Caleb Wilson, Koa-P, and a few other options. But yeah, that's probably your top three.
And real quick on this, because I know we need to move to our best bets for betting. Mm-hmm. If Peterson plays Saturday, they host BYU. So it would be Peterson against DePanza head-to-head, number one, number two pick, possibly 3:30 in Lawrence on Saturday. So hopefully he can come back from his like fifth injury. This time it's an ankle injury. And that's the concern, is his durability. He's been injured a lot. But we'll see if he can kind of move on from that. But if he plays Saturday in Lawrence.
All right, let's get to our best bets for betting. Rodney was 2 games down when we started the weekend. And, hey, don't give it away. Don't give it away. People are waiting to know. So we'll start off right off the bat here. So both of us had the exact same bets for Broncos and Patriots. The good news, my friend, is that we were correct on both of those. So you and I each had plus 4.5. We also comfortably hit the under on 42.5 points. So got the read. I thought the Broncos would win, but I took them against the spread. But yeah, 10-7 game, snow. I wonder if the total would have been even lower if people, I think, knew that snow was coming, because I'm not sure people knew snow was actually going to hit there in the second half. Yeah,
and it was a lot of it too. It was a lot of snow, and like you couldn't even see the screen. It was. So, I'm sure the total would have been much lower. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you
just kick the field goal, Sean.
Yeah. Yep. Rams do not cover. They lose by 4 points to the Seattle Seahawks. So I get the edge there. However, it would not last because the game was much higher scoring than I thought it would be. So you get the edge there. 31-27. So well over. I thought it would be more defensive struggles, and I was wrong. So the good news is we were both 3-1 for Championship Sunday, which is pretty good. I'll take 3 out of 4. The bad news is that means you did not gain any ground in our best bets for betting. So this is where we're sitting at right now for BBs for Bs, and we'll have to figure out how to do best bets this weekend with no football.
Yeah, and Seattle, LA was 31-27, and that went with 0 points scored in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
0. Just kick the field.
Yeah, no, that one was comfortable. So like you were a mere 1.5 points away from going 4-0.
Yeah.
So you feel good about that. That's good. That's really good.
But ifs and buts, but I didn't.
All right, let's get to our Mount Rushmore of 25s. 25. I mean, surely we both think immediately of baseball and all of the steroid-fueled home run hitters of our generation when we think of the number 25. It's probably where we're going to spend a good portion of our time here. So, is Barry Bonds the obvious one to put on the Mount Rushmore of 25s?
Yes.
It's pretty good. Pretty good player.
Yeah, he is, because you look at, so we'll get back to Barry Bonds, but yes, because if you look at the NFL, like Fred Biletnikoff, I mean, yes, great player, but like Barry Bonds, Richard Sherman, LaShawn McCoy, So yes, Barry Bonds takes that one. Now, maybe the NBA, NHL, but Barry Bonds is still the top of this.
Fred Biletnikoff is only famous because of the Biletnikoff Award given to the best wide receivers in college. That is the only lens that I view him through as a human being. Not anything to do with football. Like if we were doing a Rushmore of best names associated with trophies, I would consider him for the Biletnikoff, but we are not. I'm looking at NBA right now, trying to see if we're going to get anyone that's like a great 25. Like there were decent players, but no stars. So this might have to be Gail Goodrich was one.
Chet
Walker. Al Jefferson. I liked Al Jefferson. Remember Al Jefferson?
So I think this just has to be a Major League Baseball only one.
You just want to go for baseball.
I mean, Barry Bonds, Jim Thome wore it for most of his 612.
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, and then I didn't get a chance really to look at NHL here, but honestly, like the quality is for baseball is so good. So basically, we're looking at Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
I'm good with Jim Thome because
Yeah.
he's our boy, our Peoria
Yeah.
boy. How about Big Mac, Mark McGuire?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
freaking good. And then upcoming Hall of Famer and Andrew Jones, right? Didn't he wear 25?
Yeah, so you got Andrew Jones, Rafael Palmeiro, Tommy John as sort of the final group here. So like Andrew Jones or Rafael Palmeiro. I don't know. Rafael Palmeiro gives me the ick a little bit.
Yeah. And did you know, real quick before we decide this, Pete Alonso is going to wear 25 for the Orioles this spring.
Is that right? What did he wear with the Mets?
Not 25, 7 maybe?
No. Was it like 28?
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Why did I say 7? I thought he was number 20 with the Mets.
20.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Pete Alonso wouldn't be on the Mount Rushmore of 20s if we don't even remember that he was number 20.
So Barry Bonds, Jim Thome, Mark McGuire, and
Andrew Jones.
Kind of like, yeah, I mean Tommy John's kind of cool though because
but I don't know Tommy John at all for being number 25. I know him for his exploding ligaments.
So yeah, him and Biletnikoff are guys we don't really know. We just know of them because we hear their name often.
Yeah, especially Tommy John. Tommy John is by far and away more famous for his injury than any number that he would have worn.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty good though. Barry Bonds, Jim Thome, Mark McGuire, and Andrew Jones.
Yeah. And I kind of like that it's all baseball. Where I don't try to squeeze in Gail Goodrich. They're like, no, dude, you don't belong in the Rushmore with Barry Lamar Bonds. We used to have a Barry Bonds stat of the day. We did for half a year. That's how good he was. And we had new stats every day.
I got to give a special shout out to Steve Kerr, wore 25 for the Bulls.
I like Steve Kerr. Good player.
Ben Simmons wore 25 for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, there we go. Ben Simmons. He is not even on a team anymore, right?
No. And then Casey Jones, who won 8 championships in 9 seasons with the Celtics, most of the time wore number 25. So
you know
NBA names there.
Do you know how you said at the beginning of the show that our kids are going to look at Mike McCarthy's career and be like, oh my God, he coached for these 3 great franchises, won a Super Bowl. Amazing. We're going to look at Ben Simmons' career and you're going to see 3-time All-Star, All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, 2-time All-Defensive Team, and be like, oh my God, he was so good. Yeah. What happened? Oh, did he just get hurt? Oh, what happened? His career was so short. But then people were like, actually, let me tell you a little something. Guy sucks. Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks.
He can't make a shot. Yeah.
And even when he was an All-Star and Rookie of the Year and All-NBA, it was he kind of sucked.
Yeah.
At his peak, at the height of his powers, he was averaging 16 points a game, all on just driving to the hoop because he had no. How did he go first overall if he had no jump shot whatsoever?
Right.
This isn't someone who was drafted in the 90s here, where it's okay, 3-point shooting doesn't matter. He had no jump shot. It was 2016. How? Yeah. What did we do? Where did we go wrong with that?
But special shout outs to the National Hockey League, Joe Neuendijk and Dave Andrechuk, both known for their 25. And remember Darren McCarty from the Detroit Red Wings, the enforcer for the Red Wings.
Yeah, the enforcer were because obviously all those great players they had, they needed someone to come in there and make sure that they didn't get touched. And McCarty was that guy.
Your boy Ryan Kessler.
You didn't wear with the Ducks.
You sure?
Yeah, he wore number 17. Did you just get what's
Ranker.com?
Ranker.com?
No, I didn't do Ranker.com this time, but Okay.
No,
Well, if you say
no,
there's 17 with
but
the
you know who did wear? Do you know who did wear number 25 for the Anaheim Ducks? Your
I don't
boy,
know.
Chris Pronger. When
Oh
he was
yeah.
Duck for 3 seasons, he was number 25 on the Stanley Cup team. That
Yeah.
one
So
I
Kessler.
knew.
Yeah, Kessler did not wear
17.
25. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe like as
Well,
an
he did with
Olympian or something. Or
Kessler did with the Canucks. So okay.
I don't even see him on my list here. I have a list of every single hockey player to ever wear number 25, and I do not see Ryan Kessler on here. Where are you finding this information?
I don't know. I clicked on 25 NHL. I don't know. All right. Well, let's just forget Ryan Kessler wore 25 because he didn't. Move on. I don't know. It says he did.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I saw it. I watched him play with my eyes for many years.
Yeah, no, I believe you. Well, okay. 17 it is. Well, we're not doing Mount Rushmore's of 17. So here we go.
Ryan Kessler. Here's the page.
Sorry,
of
Ryan Kessler
jerseys is number 17s. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Get yours now.
Yeah. Well, I think that the Ryan Kessler stock has gone down a little bit due to some unfortunate off-ice incidents. But anywho, all right, let's get out of here on that note. We're back Thursday night, 9 p.m. You're playing the show. I'm excited to hear what we're going to talk about. It's our first non-football weekend in a while. So, I don't know, man. If you want to sneak in some UFL talk, this is the time.
I don't know what we're going to talk about Thursday night, to be honest with you. But I guess I got to do some planning.
We need to think outside the box here. And I know that there's one person who loves thinking outside the box, and it's Rodney Newple.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
So Miami of Ohio, by the way, is up 5 right now on UMass with about 2 minutes to go. So you can flip that game on ESPNU here.
They continue to find ways. They've had a lot of thrillers late. So, I mean, they're a MAC team, but they keep winning. Vanderbilt beating Kentucky by 24. Vanderbilt's good. Kentucky's not the Kentucky it's been.
Oh,
but,
you know who we didn't mention that I just want to give a quick shout out to, just a quick one before we head out.
Who's that?
I don't know. I know that last weekend everyone was watching a bunch of football and preoccupied with other stuff, but I'm starting to think this Scotty Scheffler guy's the real deal.
Pretty good to go off.
So yeah, what's the stat? So 20 career PGA Tour wins and at least 4 majors before the age of 30. There are 3 golfers in history to ever have done that. It's Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and now Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Also, Scotty Scheffler has never lost a tournament where he was either leading or down by a stroke going into Sunday.
So he's the ultimate closer too.
Yeah. No, it's the talent, and it's also the mental game that is what separates the great golfers from the all-time golfers. And Scotty.
Well, there is an event. There's an event coming up this weekend. Supposed to be a fairly good one, yes. Right? The Farmers Insurance.
It's Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. Yeah. So that's going to be a real nice tournament. We got some good golf here because we got that, and then the weekend after is Waste Management in Arizona.
Oh, wow, yeah. Super Bowl. I forgot about Super Bowl week there in Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah. So then
and then we start moving in. Yeah.
Yeah, got some good ones. Genesis, Cognizant Classic, Arnold Palmer, Players Championship, middle of March, and then Masters will be here before you know it. A little over 2 months away.
I need to start turning on CBS so I can hear the commercials.
Oh, I hear the little 10-second, 15-second promos of just a little bit of music, and I'm so hooked every single time. It gets me so pumped. I love the Masters.
Well, get me the March Madness music first, and then I'll be ready.
Oh, yeah. Well, that too. All right. As you can see below, you can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. You can listen to all 125 episodes if you decide to, which would be bizarre, but you can. Wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, iHeart. Rodney is still putting out picks on the Substack every day, so go on and get some picks, man. Get some picks. Where are you looking to end January at right now?
I'm ahead. We'll see what the card looks like tonight. Yeah. I'm ahead a little bit, as long as you don't have a losing month. But 2025 was a good month, so hopefully, as basketball continues, we can continue to rise that up. But I'm ahead right now for the month. A couple days left, so we'll see if I can finish ahead.
He wins. Google him.
That's right. Yeah. Call me Kurt.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. We didn't show this. Did this just come through right now? Yeah. That before Bill O'Brien, I agree. If you're talking Bill Belichick, if you're saying Bill Belichick, I will disagree. I think I like the odds of Belichick getting into the Hall of Fame before Boy Wonder, personally.
Yeah. A little late night there for our buddy. You might want to reconsider that one. That's a bad take. It's a bad take.
Oh, I hate ending the show on a bad take, but sometimes it happens. What are you gonna do?
Take.
All right. He is Rodney Newpel. I am Tim D-Trey Van Stratton. We'll be back Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central. Till then, have a good couple days. Until next time, this has been the stupidest sports show on earth. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.